Hello, welcome to ACE Manager. Process and Governance Focus. ACE 42. Why focus on processes and governance? What is the relevance of processes? Processes to me are like roads with traffic signals. Traffic signals help in navigation of vehicles in an orderly fashion to the right destination. Imagine traffic signal failure at a big junction at a busy hour. In no time, orderliness will disappear and unruly movement of vehicles will lead to traffic jam. When organizations are small, a few people handle all transactions independent of any organized processes. Their personal attention will ensure that transaction handling is proper. What happens when the transaction volumes go up? People become a bottleneck and organizations get stuck at the same turnover level and fail to grow even if market exists. It is at this stage we say that people dependency should give way to process dependency. Thus, processes are vital for successful operations of any organization. In my earlier podcast on how internal controls manifest in an organization, we did talk of the role of process along with policies, practices, people, organization structure, management reports, and organized methodologies to process data as different elements of risk management infrastructure. An organization will face two types of risks, external and internal. Among internal risks, once again, two important risks are information may not be available for decision making or internal process may fail. Now let us come to governance. In the context of a nation, it is the responsibility of the government to make laws, provide infrastructure, protect the nation from external threats or invasions, as well as controlling anti-social elements within the country to address internal unrest and related problems. If there is policy paralysis or poor implementation of welfare programs or wrong priorities, or if there is a process leakage of a significant nature for a prolonged period, we see how nations fail and go bankrupt. Good governance is the hallmark of a welfare state. Similarly, business organizations need to focus on good governance practices for orderly conduct of business and to realize the organizational objectives for which the organization has come into existence. The subject is quite vast to draw a boundary and to deal with all aspects of governance comprehensively. In my career, I had many opportunities to improve processes or add value through good governance initiatives. I would like to share some of them with you through these podcasts. Processes and governances go hand in hand. My next podcast is on process improvements and how processes could be made effective. To give you a flavor on governance focus through my subsequent podcasts, promoting decisional thinking among managers is one of the important requirements in any organization. I had seen very important issues requiring the attention of the managing director for a decision being handled by some middle-level managers without much understanding of the implications. On the contrary, I had seen in the same organization trivial matters going to the MD for decisions. This prompted me to develop a policy on delegation of authority for that organization, which was well received by the entire group to which that organization belonged. A friend of mine, whose organization was engaged in overseas infra projects, asked me for guidance on developing a performance incentive scheme for their managers. I raised some questions about the objectives as I was not familiar with their operations. I felt it is worth sharing these questions with suitable explanations to visualize how incentive schemes could be developed in one of my subsequent podcasts to follow. In an earlier podcast, Age 23, the turnaround story, I shared details of group incentive scheme developed by an organization on the back of a high contribution product. Apart from the contribution concept, this story had an important dimension on industrial relations. I am covering this as the turnaround story IR side. There are some more podcasts on topics like how to develop organizational policies and procedures, strengthening procurement function, and relevance of intangibles in managerial effectiveness. I am greatly impressed by the enterprise risk management framework and deployed the concept in many organizations. I had also seen misconceptions about what ERM is. I like to share my thoughts on ERM in an easy and palatable way. Let's get going. Thank you for your attention.